Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. Natalie Scott Douglas is still struggling to find comfort during what she describes as the hardest time of her life, having lost her husband and their son 5 days apart. Carl Douglas, 55, died at St. Anne's Regional Hospital on December 1, 5 days after his 19-year-old son Dorian succumbed to injuries sustained in a two-vehicle collision crash in Kingston. The father fell ill and was taken to hospital on November 29, one day after viewing his son's corpse. He was hypertensive, his wife disclosed to reporters. He had high blood pressure, and so I think with the death of our son, his pressure went up so high that he got the stroke, she added. The double blow was enough to send Scott Douglas to the doctor on Tuesday. There is no way to describe how I'm feeling. I am being honest with you. I get a lot of calls and text messages, and all I can say is that I am hanging in there. I am just taking it one day at a time. This is the hardest thing. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, she said. Noting that she has to be strong, especially for the other 3 children she has with her husband. They are 24, 14, and 7 years old. Scott Douglas said her son always clung to her and lived with her in Ocho until recently, when he went to Kingston to spend time with his sister. He was with his sister in Kingston. He went out with some of his sister's friends last week Friday night, and on their way home, the accident happened, she explained. The mother added that, based on information she received, Dorian drew his last breath while being transported from the crash scene at Old Harbour Road to the University Hospital of the West Indies. He was the only casualty from the two-vehicle collision smash-up. The mother described her son as honest and respectful. He was overprotective of his mommy. Dorian had a smile that, no matter how mad you get at him, once he smiles, that's it. He was always very respectful. It doesn't matter what you say, he is just going to smile. I could be blowing steam and Dorian would just stand and smile. Things like that keep me going because I just would remember his smile, added Scott Douglas. She said her son had a lot in common with his father. Carl was a no-nonsense person, and I would say our 4 kids also have that personality. Just like Dorian, Carl is just to tell you as it is. Both of them are also loving persons. Carl was a great provider. He was a family person and made sure his family was well taken care of, especially when it comes to his kids, said Scott Douglas. In the meantime, Amar Roberts, a friend of Carl Douglas, described him in the same way his wife did, disciplined, frank, and family-oriented. Carl was a very disciplined man, and when you talk about neatness and cleanliness, you talk about him. He stands for what he believes in. You can depend on him for anything, for being truthful. Don't think he is going to polish the truth for you. No, he would not, Roberts reported. He was well known throughout the resort town of Ocho Rios, where he was involved in the foreign exchange business, she said. Tufton announces digital health information system to be implemented in 150 healthcare facilities. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says a digital health information system is being implemented in approximately 150 hospitals island-wide in an effort to provide easier access to patient records. The US $8 million project is part of several rehabilitation works being done at public hospital facilities across the island. The rehabilitation is set to take place over the next 3 years.
So as part of our infrastructure build-out, we are also investing some 8.5 million US in a digitized, integrated health information system. Through this investment, we will be providing a modern and integrated digital healthcare system, high-speed internet, and we did sign recently a contract with Flow, and they are now going to be networking 150 health centers and hospitals across the country. So we have the technology platform. That technology platform is going to enable us to do a number of things, to put in place electronic health records. You don't need to run from one building to the next or one health center to a hospital to know what the patient's medical history is as a doctor doing an assessment requiring to prescribe and to respond quickly. Similarly, for those of us in here who know the layout of a hospital, it's quite a journey to move from one department to the next. Again, you can get it on your phone, the information, of course, with appropriate levels of confidentiality for patient records. We are transitioning, that's a simple message, from paper-based to digital, and that will bring us into the modern era of providing efficient healthcare response services to our patients. In short order, we will announce another provider through competitive process to deal with the software to facilitate the digitizing of records and the other components, including telemedicine. In fact, we're doing some pilots now where doctors at UWI are treating patients in Kitsentown via the technology platform.
Lawyers suggest House Speaker's dumping case is waste of court's time. Two defense lawyers suggested yesterday that it would be a waste of the court's time to proceed with the case of legal dumping brought against Speaker of the House of Representatives Marissa Dalrymple-Filbert and two co-accused. Peter Champagny and Tom Tavares Vinson, Queen's counsels, gushed confidence in the St. Anne's Parish Court after reading statements from two prosecution witnesses, the police officers who witnessed the alleged illegal dumping. The statements, the lawyers argued, corroborated the defense case that the three accused did not leave garbage at the Salem St. Anne location where they are accused of carrying out illegal dumping. Arguing that a breach would have been committed only if the garbage had been left behind, Champagny cited Section 46(1) of the National Solid Waste Management Act, which says a person commits an offense if he throws, drops, or otherwise deposits and leaves any litter in any public place. Champagny added that, regardless of how long the case goes on, the unassailable fact is that his client did not leave any garbage at the location in question. This is not based on instructions that are given, it is based on what the prosecution has. In that regard, therefore, no offense would have been committed. Your Honor, we are a firm believer in disposing of matters, Champagny said. He repeatedly stood to ask, why are we here? Peter Champagny's stand was reinforced by Tom Tavares Vinson, who read aloud parts of statements he received moments earlier from the two police witnesses. The statements do not disclose a charge, said the defense attorney, while asking that the matter be disposed of immediately rather than waste the court's time. The prosecution, however, asked for more time to peruse the police officer's statements, which were provided during the sitting of the court. It's also stated that the St. Anne Municipal Corporation is yet to furnish the court with its statement regarding the case. The corporation is expected to speak to the terms public space and the persons or authorities responsible for such space. The judge, Larona Montague Williams, scheduled the case for trial on February 21 next year. Before that time, the St. Anne Municipal Corporation should submit its statement to the court, the judge said. The defendants who appeared in court along with Dalrymple Filbert are her son, Giovanni Filbert, and Simon Sanchez, who is said to be her employee. When the case was called up, the two men stood in the dock reserved for defendants, while a seemingly confident Dalrymple Filbert, dressed in a black pantsuit, stood just outside the dock. Allegations are that shortly before noon on August 15, police were patrolling along the Salem Main Road when they saw three people exit a pickup truck and started disposing of garbage. The police officers approached the trio and pointed to a no littering sign in the area, the court heard. It is alleged that Dalrymple Filbert scoffed at the officers, asking, "You know who I am?" She reportedly went on to tell the lawmen that she is a lawyer, Speaker of the House of Representatives, and a Member of Parliament for Trelawney South. The three subsequently were taken to a St. Anne police station and charged under the National Solid Waste Management Act. The officers could otherwise have used their discretion and ticketed the trio, the defense said in the court yesterday. Digital partners with JMMB to push select SMEs. Digital Global Marketing Limited, DGM, one of the Caribbean's fastest growing digital solutions agency, has signed an agreement with JMMB Group's Small and Medium-Sized Enterprise Resource Center to provide digital marketing and digital technology services to the center's SMEs, client as a recommended service partner. Small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, has been identified as key drivers of economic growth and employment creation and is estimated at the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises sector accounts for more than 80% of jobs in Jamaica. However, inadequate business planning and high levels of informality have often been cited as hindrances to their growth. It is against this background that this agreement has been signed to provide this sector with additional resources to bolster their business operation and to transform their digital communication. Like the JMMB Group, DGM is committed to empowering micro, small, medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs, by providing digital resources and services that will enable their growth and profitability, said Kemal Brown, founder and CEO of DGM. As a growing medium enterprise and having worked with more than 150 SMEs since our inception, we understand that expert guidance coupled with future-focused resources help to drive revenue and growth for all companies. Additionally, when placed against the backdrop of COVID-19, the need for digital transformation is no longer a nice-to-have, but a vital lifeline, growth catalyst, and linchpin for business continuity, added Brown. Through this partnership, DGM will assist businesses referred by the JMMB Center to maximize their return on investments and revolutionize their digital solutions. These reformed clients will benefit from special rates on selected services offered, namely branding and visual identity, digital marketing, web and app development, interactive medium advertising, cinematograph services, and other digital consultation services through the agreement. I've always admired JMMB for its commitment to excellence and enchanting customers' experiences, so the value-based synergies of this partnership will bear fruit for all stakeholders. Great companies can and do come from the Caribbean. We are excited to play a role in the elevating and digital readiness and contributing to the digital transformation of the local and regional companies. This partnership will allow us to serve, added Brown. Shani Duncan Faulkner, Senior Corporate Manager, JMMB Group, argued that with the right support and partnership, more MSMEs will be positioned to become more constructed business and eventually household names. As such, this partnership seeks to assist in providing these businesses with the digital tools and expertise to better compete in a global environment and to improve their use of innovative solutions in a bid to better serve their clients and break boundaries. In Jamaica, a small enterprise is defined as one between 6 to 20 employees with annual sales of more than 15 million but less than 75 million. A medium enterprise employs between 21 to 50 persons and generates annual sales of between 75 million and 425 million. Government plans major maintenance for health facilities. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says a review and reform of maintenance schedule for hospitals will have to be implemented to prevent a recurrence of sick building within the public health sector. His comments come against the backdrop of the ministry's unveiling yesterday of its upcoming infrastructure works and upgraded designs for 13 health facilities island-wide at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. There is also a new mobile health app to support Jamaicans in managing chronic illnesses. Upgrades will be done to the Spanish Town, St. Anne's Bay and Maypen hospitals. 10 health centers will also be upgraded. They are Greater Portmore, St. Jacob Park, Old Harbour, St. Anne's Bay, Ocho Rios, Brownstown, Maypen East, Maypen West, and Mocha Health Centers, plus the Chopperton Community Hospital. In addition, the Ministry of Health and Wellness completed external upgrade design for the University Hospital of the West Indies. The Conwa Regional Hospital and the Western Children and Adolescent Hospital in Montego Bay will also continue their build-out. Construction is expected to begin in 2022 and continue into 2024. There is a plan for public health and I don't care who wants to contradict that. This is evidence of it, and I rebuff and reject any assertions otherwise, stated Dr. Tufton. The remodeling represents the largest healthcare infrastructure development since independence and is being jointly funded by the European Union and the Inter-American Development Bank to the tune of US $205.7 and US $236.2 million. It is expected to build out our public health infrastructures over the next 3 years. However, a revision is taking place, which will see an increase in expenditures at the Spanish Town infrastructure upgrade is expected to cost more. The MOHW also invested US $8.5 million in a digitized integrated health information system to provide a modern and integrated digital healthcare system. But in order to maintain the new infrastructure, which is expected to be completed over the next 5 years, Dr. Tufton said a review and reform of our maintenance schedule for hospital infrastructure is needed. There is a huge gap, and Cornwall Regional is a perfect example of how a hospital can go bad if it is ignored and not maintained over time. Cornwall Regional literally collapsed because we were applying a band-aid approach to the underlying concerns of improper maintenance or lack of maintenance. It started with air quality issues 10 years ago, and we just patch it out, patch it up. The walls were leaking, so we got sick building syndromes as a leaking roof meant saturation of water mold. While these buildings are being built over, we are training and retraining for maintenance, so we have preventative measures. Beyond that, we are going to have to restructure and reform how we hold people to account. It is not just the clinical management, but the administrative management of the plant. Hopefully, out of this, we will get more experienced contractors to not just build, but maintain the plant. The idea is that everything is linked and over time, it will get better, Dr. Tufton noted. Further, Dr. Tufton said the project, birthed from a 10-year strategic plan for public health, applied a multi-pronged approach to fixing much of the sector's issues. When I became minister, there were remnants of it. We took it, refined it, and responded to the needs. Part of our issue was lifestyle and NCDs, non-communicable diseases, so the prevention side was critical. We needed policies to support it, front of packages labeling, tobacco policy, alcohol policy that is developing, sugary drinks in schools, nutritional policy in schools. All of this is connected. The 10-year plan, the policies to support it, and the build-out of the plan over time, we hope to have behavioral changes, he said. He added, what we have on display is a number of years of work starting maybe 5 years ago when we approached the IDB for loan funding to build out a program that would address the biggest threat that we face as a population, which is lifestyle disease NCDs. We have gone 2 of the 5 years. The last year has been challenging because of COVID. I can't say we are on time because of where we want to be, as COVID really created an intervention that disrupted some of the work, flow, and programs. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.